You're rolling.
Hello and welcome to the second of our Reminiscence sessions, V-Day, take 2. I'm Anna, I run the Forget Me Not project, and this is my special helper for today. This is Charlie, who is 11 years old. Last time we did a session on V-Day and we included some stuff about the parties that happened after V-Day. Today we're going to talk about some of the things that actually happened during the war, and we're going to use some of the items that we have in our home front and VE Day boxes. You ready? Let's do it. So, this is the first of our items. So, this is a toy that a lucky boy or girl may have been given to play with during the war. We think it's a Lancaster. I'm not sure because it's not my area of expertise, but I do know it's a bomber. Here you go, Charlie. What do you make of that?
It looks quite scratched and very heavy.
It's very heavy. And why do you think that is?
It might be because it was made of lead.
Correct. Very good. That's right. So this is an original lead die-cast toy, and as such it's very, very heavy. Obviously these days we don't make toys out of lead because lead is poisonous, and therefore little children putting it in their mouths and sucking it isn't going to go well. But don't worry, it's not going to hurt you. Not yet, anyway. So whilst children were playing with toys like that, adults who were sheltering from the bombs, say in London, may have been playing with something else. And this collection of things came to us from a family that was actually sheltering in the underground in London, and included in this collection was this Players Cigarettes tin. Now, a lot of people smoked during the war, so we expected it to be filled with tobacco or something similar. That's not what it's filled with. Have a look, Charlie, if you can get into it.
Regular playing cards.
Inside is playing cards, because playing cards was a very popular activity whilst people were sheltering from the bombs. And this is the set of cards that we found inside. And you can see they've been well loved.
I play ace.
I trump.
Oh.
Just so that Charlie can see, this is a picture that shows just what it was like sheltering inside the tunnels underneath the busy bombed streets of London. So here we are. What can you see?
Oh, I can see this family having a picnic.
Yep.
And some soldiers who look like they're standing on some sort of platform.
Yeah.
It looks like an old tube station.
That's right. And you can see there's an awful lot of people huddled together. And up here, we've got a man who was an air warden or a member of the Civil Defence League. And his job was to make sure that everybody was safe and make sure that the evacuation went well. And from that same family that we talked about, we have one of these, which was an armband, which was the type of thing this gentleman wore as part of his uniform. And everybody who was in the Civil Defence League and things like that also had little manuals. And this manual is one from Plymouth, so from a different sort of part of the country, and it's filled with sort of useful advice and help, but there's also cartoons and stories and even games to play whilst you're busy keeping people safe under the ground. Now, what you would have noticed in that picture was that there weren't many children. And the reason for that was that children, especially in London, were evacuated. And they were evacuated to places like Devon and Cornwall and to the countryside, places that we're lucky enough to live in. And they were packed off on trains with labels like this hung around their necks and look a bit like Paddington Bear. But from what I've been told, it made you feel a little bit like a parcel. And parents were encouraged to send their children off with adverts like this. And when they did, they were sent off to the countryside to stay with families who they'd never met before. Some of them worked on farms, some of them lived in busy households, but most of them spent a lot of time writing letters home to their family, and some of them made phone calls. And we were told by one particular gentleman in Seaton, who was an evacuee down here, that he was allowed to phone his home once a week. Had to walk a mile in order to do so down a country line, and if somebody was already on the telephone, he had to sit and wait in the rain. Bit different to picking up the mobile phone. And one of the main things those children were running from, or being sent away from, were the gas attacks and the fear of gas attacks. So every child was issued with a gas mask, and we have one here. Now, this isn't an item that we hand around much, because some of these gas masks were made using asbestos, which again is something that is now classed as a poisonous substance, but this one's safe. But can you imagine what it would have felt like to have to wear one of these?
Yeah. Looks quite heavy as well.
They are, have a feel.
Yeah, the end's very heavy.
Yeah, the ends.
If I was to wear this, it would feel like it was going to fall off.
Well, that's what these stretchy bands at the back were for,
Yeah.
to make sure it didn't. But you can see there's a very little window to see through, and everything's very misty and cloggy. And they smell quite bad as well.
Yeah.
So all in all, quite frightening things. So that's a little taste of the items we have in our VE Day box. So thank you for joining with us today, and we hope you're having a lovely week, and to see you again next time. Bye.